She hands it off to Jackson. Jackson uses the screen, lost the handle, bounce pass to Plum. Plum loses it, regains it, throws it up for grabs. Grabbed by Boston out of the sky, and we're going to have a foul here. No, a timeout taken by Indiana.
What I love the most about this squad is that, just like O said, like we instill confidence, the coach instills confidence that any shot you take, shoot it with confidence because we trust you and we trust that you're going to make it. And I feel like that's just really helped us down the line because no matter who comes in, no matter who steps up, we're all just really happy for each other.
Aliyah Boston didn't just talk the talk after this one. She walked it. With Indiana's season hanging by a thread and a roster gutted by injuries, she delivered a monster performance. 22 points, 11 rebounds, and a career-high 6 steals, finishing it all with a defensive stop that sealed the game. And when she spoke after the final buzzer, you could feel exactly what she meant, because she just embodied it on the court. This wasn't just another win. It was a Fever's most important of the season. In a year where momentum has come and gone, where setbacks have piled up, Boston lit the spark that slammed the door on Los Angeles. She didn't do it alone either. An unlikely hero rose up to keep Indiana's playoff hopes alive. Think about it. How do you win when half your roster is sitting in street clothes? That was a question staring Indiana down. Caitlin Clark out, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Carlson and Ari McDonald out. 4 guards. For playmakers. For voices silenced. For most teams, that's a death sentence, especially in a game with postseason weight. But Indiana didn't have the luxury of excuses. They walked into LA with nothing but grit, trust, and belief in whoever was left standing. And somehow that was enough. Big Fever win. Let's go. Fever. Hell yeah.
About the resilient, nature of our team. I think one other thing that sometimes goes missed is just the character of these women, right? Especially this group that's been here, that's gone through all of this, and then the ones that we brought in. We brought in with O and Shea and AP. I mean, these are women who care about winning. These are women who care about one another. These are women who sacrifice every single day.
This game wasn't just about who was missing from the lineup. It wasn't just another August matchup either. The Sparks weren't some random opponent. They'd owned the Fever all season. 3 meetings, 3 losses, each one more bitter than the last. And the standings only twisted the knife deeper. Indiana clung to 6th place, barely holding a playoff spot, while Los Angeles lurked in 9th, just 2 games back. That margin could vanish overnight. With 4 losses in their last 5, doubt was creeping in from every angle. Were the Fever running out of steam at the worst possible time? From the outside, they looked fragile. Inside, they had no choice but to dig in. 5 games left. A patchwork lineup. No time for rhythm. No margin for error. Survival had to become the blueprint. Every possession was its own battle. Whoever stepped on the floor had to stretch their role. Whoever touched the ball had to bring more than just numbers. And then there was Lexi Hull. Both eyes bruised from a collision with Gabby Williams in the previous game. Yet there she was, diving on the floor, fighting through screens, locking in defensively. 2 black eyes and 0 hesitation. Hull became the embodiment of what Indiana needed. Show up even when it hurts. Her presence alone was a message. If she could fight through pain, everyone else in red could too. That's what made this night different. It wasn't about highlight plays or flashy runs. Every rebound, every stop, every bucket was soaked in urgency. One misstep, and LA could have flipped the game, but Indiana never cracked. They met the Sparks' intensity and pushed back with everything they had, possession after possession.
I like that we dug in. It wasn't ideal in terms of how the game was. It was ugly. We had moments where we were better than others, but we dug in. I mean, when you think about key defensive stops, key offensive rebounds, like AB's key offensive rebound there at the end, making plays, deflections that led to steals or deflections that led to bobbled passes.
By refusing to crack under pressure, Indiana created the perfect stage for an unlikely hero to emerge. The grit of that shorthanded group opened the door for a veteran who had been waiting for a chance to step into the spotlight. What if the player nobody saw coming became the closer everybody needed? That's exactly what unfolded when Odyssey Sims checked into the game in Los Angeles. On paper, This night was supposed to be about survival, a patched-together roster, just trying to hang on long enough to escape with a win. Instead, it became the night a 31-year-old veteran, coming off the bench, turned into the heartbeat of the Fever. And for Sims, the moment carried even more weight because of the logo on the other side. This wasn't just any opponent. It was the Sparks, the team she once called home. That history fueled her every possession, and you could see it in her energy, in her focus, in the way she played like the game was personal.
Sims left open for three. She got it. Offensive rebound. Sims the runner. Here's Howard. Shovels Sims right at the doorstep, and she gets it off the window. 3-on-3 the other way. Sims the take and finishes the lefty layup.
At this point in her career, no one expects a backup guard to shoulder an offense. Her name doesn't draw the same attention on a scouting report as Aliyah Boston or Caitlin Clark. But when your leading scorer, Kelsey Mitchell, can't find her touch, just 5 makes on 14 shots, that's usually when the cracks start to show. Instead, Sims became the answer. She played with poise, decisiveness, and zero hesitation. Every possession carried weight, and she approached each one like she had been preparing for this moment her entire career.
Down by Plum. Plum 1-on-2, ripped away there by Sims. Great play by Odyssey Sims. Played the ball. 3-on-3 the other way. Sims the take and finishes the lefty layup.
The box score only scratches the surface. 21 points looks impressive on paper, but it was the timing of those buckets that changed everything. Possession after possession, Sims looked unshaken, pushing the pace when Indiana needed a spark, slowing things down when LA threatened to seize control. And then came the closing stretch. In the fourth quarter, the ball kept finding her hands. Drives through traffic, mid-range pull-ups, creating off the dribble when nothing else was there. These weren't secondary looks anymore. She had become Indiana's go-to option, the release valve when the pressure was
Lead back
highest.
up to 3. Sims left open for 3. She got it. Odyssey Sims with the triple to tie this one up at 74 apiece. Got the offensive rebound out to Mitchell. Here's Hole curling. Hole down the lane. The kick out Sims. Sims in the paint. The runner good. They put Turner on the inbound. Alaman inbounds it to Hamby, and so now that'll be that. So the Indiana Fever come into here.
The defining play came with just 13.6 seconds left. Indiana hanging on, the season's weight in the balance, and the ball in Sims' hands. She rose into that quick floater she perfected over years in the league. And it dropped clean. That was the shot, the one that gave Indiana the lead for good, draining the noise out of Staples Center. As she turned and ran back on defense, her arms steady, her expression calm, it felt like she'd known all along this moment belonged to her.
Yeah, honestly, 5 straight points for you to help take the lead at the end of the game. Just what was that mindset for you in those final seconds?
I didn't shoot the ball well from the 3. I was over before I made that shot, but I didn't lose confidence. I think my teammates did a great job, along with the coaches, just constantly talking to me. They weren't worried about my missed shots. It just came down to continue to play. They believe in me so much, so that helped me. And when I shot it, I was open. It was one of those do or die. It went in, and I was excited about that. Like I said, I was open from the 3, but we got the W, so it feels great.
Later, when the microphones found her, Sims summed it up in one line. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That wasn't just a quote. It was a blueprint for Indiana's entire night. No excuses, no panic, just readiness for whatever came their way. Because of Odyssey Sims, the Fever left Los Angeles with more than a win. They left with proof that resilience isn't a slogan, it's who they are. And while Sims provided the spark, she wasn't alone. Right there with her was the foundation of the Fever's identity, Aliyah Boston, dominating on both ends and delivering a message that still has fans buzzing.
Julie Alamam, 5 points here tonight. They go high-low, and Boston the beneficiary. That's the 18th point off of a Sparks turnover. Hamby the crossover. Hamby rejected there by Boston. Here's Mitchell, always dangerous with the ball in her hands. Finds Boston's free throw line. Boston against Hamby. Jump hook, gets the soft bounce.
All night long, Aliyah Boston's play built toward one question. What exactly did she mean when she dropped that message after the buzzer? If you watched closely, it felt like she was already answering with every possession. She didn't just stack numbers. She stamped her presence on every corner of the game. 22 points fueling the offense. 11 rebounds muscling through the Sparks front court. 4 assists keeping the ball alive. And 6 steals, a career high. That kind of all-around dominance doesn't usually come from one player in one night. But Boston carried both ends of the floor as if it were routine. The defining play came with barely any time left. Just 1.9 seconds on the clock. Los Angeles, desperate for one final chance, tried to force it. But Boston saw it coming. She stepped in, ripped the ball clean, and ended it right there. No chaos, no second life. Just a superstar closing the door with authority V.
But tonight you guys showed resilience, coming back and just having that great floater for the win. Can you guys just talk about the camaraderie, everything that's happened with the team, the injuries, and just how you guys have been able to coalesce as one cohesive unit despite all of everything that's happened?
Yeah, honestly, I think from the start of our season, we talked about a season's not going to be perfect, and if something happens, next woman up. And I feel like that's really been the story of our season. With everything that's happened, people we've added, no matter how late in the season, it's been next woman up.
With Caitlin Clark inching closer to a full return, the Fever suddenly look less like survivors and more like a group learning how to close games under fire. That growth is priceless. For Fever fans, hope feels alive right now, and even brighter for 2025. A team that wins this way with so much resilience has only begun. If you are pumped up for the team, then comment Big Fever Win. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.